Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all qualifications for membership to the Enhanced Enterprise Zone Board
that I possess all qualifications for membership to the Enhanced Enterprise Zone Board
of the City of Columbia, Missouri,
of the City of Columbia, Missouri,
that I am not subject
that I am not subject
to any of the disqualifications
to any of the disqualifications
set forth in the Charter
set forth in the Charter
of the City of Columbia,
of the City of Columbia,
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of the State of Missouri,
and of the State of Missouri,
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Columbia,
of the City of Columbia,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office,
the duties of my office,
so help me God.
so help me God.
So if we get everybody to sign, and have some sign to seal with all the official. So the first item of business on the agenda is the election of the committee chair and vice chair. I would entertain a motion of an individual who wishes to serve in that capacity. Well, at this point, it is your decision to select one of your own to be chair and vice chair.
Do you need to make a comment? Met earlier this week with Pat Lensmeyer because we knew she was not going to be at this meeting. Briefed her on these materials here, and she requested it should not be considered for chair.
Thank you.
Or vice chair at this point in time. She's going to be representing the other taxing districts and will have other duties she'd like to concentrate on for those other representatives.
I would like for consideration John. John was served last time. He was an excellent facilitator, gave everyone an opportunity, so I would like to put John's name on the table.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Motion to close.
I move to close the nomination.
All those in favor of John as chairman?
Can we have a discussion on
Absolutely.
I think John did a great job the first time around, by all accounts and appearances. It was a reasonable committee that was meeting and accomplishing good work, and I said that to the council and many times. My only concern is that the public will perceive that we are just continuing the same board. And like I said in my introduction, I'm concerned about the legitimacy of our work very much. And the other, so and I guess related to that is I have spoken to you, Mr. Brooks, and others about the incentives available under the EEZ, and Kraft is a great manufacturer here in town. And I wouldn't want for the public to believe that this board was acting in Kraft's interest versus the community interest. And so that's the other, I guess, concern I have about Mr. Strawbeck's candidacy for chair. I take, as a lawyer, I take conflict of interest issues very seriously. Our firm does. You know, we have committees that deal with them. And so there are issues that are deserving of discussion and scrutiny before we head.
Any other comments before we take a vote?
Is there anyone else who's interested?
I was just going to say, do you have an alternative? Would you like to now?
I mean, I am not really interested in serving as chair of this committee. I have a busy law practice, but you know, I guess I would stand as a candidate if someone else is willing to serve. That might eliminate some of those concerns.
I just had a comment. I do agree, Jerry, with your statements, but I also look at it as the next office we'll have is vice chair. So if Kraft or Mr. John had a conflict professional enough to know that he may need to step down from that position, and the vice chair can pick up where we left off. I like that we have with the current chair because he's already done a lot of work. There will be a learning curve for a new chairman, and I think we really need to kind of move forward, and I think we kind of stall out. And with the appointment of new members to the board, I definitely plan to keep a close eye on him. I'm right next to him. So I think that the new additions to the board will kind of weigh out any of those concerns personally.
Thank you. Other comments?
Call the question.
Call the question. All those in favor of John as chair, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Really noted. At this point, I turn the meeting over to John.
We need a vice chair.
I understand.
Oh.
The chair probably has good as well.
Well, you know, I would say, Jeremy, if you're interested, since that we look at Jeremy as
So I would say that.
And I would nominate Anthony as vice chair. You know, he expressed some interest as well.
that's great. All in favor of Anthony?
Aye.
Opposed?
What?
If you're okay.
My Robert's Rules of Order kind of coming back to me, but we had 2 nominations. Do we need to speak on each other's behalf, or because Jeremy had interest as well, so I think we have a runoff, if I'm correct. Unless you're just conceding.
I'll withdraw my candidacy.
So,
Good. So,
Thank both of you for being willing to serve.
Bernie, I guess turn it over to you then.
Okay, first of all, let me, on the agenda, overview materials and advisory board duties. Let me just start with the advisory board duties first. And the duties were the same as we had indicated before. You're going to make recommendations to both city council and county commission in 3 areas. Number 1, boundaries of the proposed zones. And I say zones because there could be alternatives. You could do alternative A, alternative B, and provide those to council and commission. There's no rule that you have to just give them one alternative.
But is this different? I mean, the county commission, is that a new entity then that we will?
Well, no, the city will be the joint applicant with the county. The city is actually the lead applicant because most of the land has fallen within the city, but the county will also have to approve the ordinance that establishes the zone, what eligible names codes are, percentage abatement and all that. So I say that whatever your recommendation will ultimately go to the county, so that to the city.
So the county doesn't have to appoint a separate board under the statute?
No. If you look at the application, the city, the lead applicant, can appoint 5 at-large members. Pat Lensmeyer will be the county representative representing the other taxing districts. She's an elected official, and so she'll represent them on the board. And then Mr. Witt represents the school district, so that makes up the 7 members. So yes, as this goes through, any ordinance would go through to the city, be a public hearing, and then finally to the county for approval. Or application to be committed or submitted to the state.
Do you know whether the county would also have to have a public hearing? I'm just trying to understand, because the 2 jurisdictions that are overlapping, it can be, I'm just trying to understand what the rules are.
When there's a public hearing, all impacted taxing districts and the county are invited to attend, and we have to send them a certified letter of the public hearing, so that public hearing serves for the entire zone. Okay, so your second duty is to basically determine what the eligible companies are by NAICS code, North American Industrial Classification System. And again, that's no small task. There's quite a few different codes that you have to go through, and your duty will be to provide a list of what is eligible.
Is companies the right word, Bernie, or is it industries?
Right?
Industries maybe might be the right word versus companies. A company to me would be General Mills.
The terms are probably interchangeable, except that some of these, as you look at the next codes, you allow for, I think of industry more of manufacturing, but you also allow professional technical service firms are eligible and other different varieties.
Okay.
And we could, yeah, it's basically eligible businesses.
Eligible business.
Yeah.
Good point.
So again, as you develop that list, it will be the list that's in any ordinance. So if you're a business, if they don't have an H code that is eligible, they're not eligible for this. And then, of course, the third thing is the tax abatement. Their state statute requires that local community must abate at least 50% for 10 years under this program. And so your recommendation is to the city or your county has to be at least 50% for 10 years. So as you work through this process, your final product to the city council, and again, ultimately the county commission will be basically a report that identifies what the next codes are, what the abatement percentage is, and the boundaries with a map or maps alternatives. One thing that the initial EEZ committee asked for clarification on was the scope, and it was determined that the whole issue for addressing blight is not under the purview of this committee. That's a city council issue for them to handle that. Is there any questions on that as far as duties?
So I know we spent some time in the scope the last meeting, and help me if I'm wrong here. The scope that we have to work on is really in 3 areas. It's the tax enrollment, the tax abatement level, the NAICS codes, and then the boundaries of the EEZ, whatever they choose. So those are clearly the 3 things we have to work on. And make a recommendation as soon as possible.
Yes, as an advisory board, if this is approved by city and county, after the public hearing process, the ordinance is submitted as an application approved by the EEZ. You're also required to meet annually, monitor the activities in the zone, and file a report. But that's handling the DEP, but that's getting ahead a little bit. But your duties as far as this advisory board right now are exactly the 3 things you mentioned.
And has it been determined our terms?
Yes. Yeah. And I was gonna, the next thing I was gonna do is talk about the materials in here.
Okay.
Any questions on duties then before we move ahead to my turn? Yes.
Do we have a copy of this posting of our duties as a advisory board in our packet, or can you get that to us in writing?
I will give you a copy of the ordinance that was passed by city council, and just a statement that those are the 3 things. Sound reasonable?
Yeah, just for clarification on duties, you said that blight, the issue of blight was a big issue. That's a city issue. That's nothing that we address in terms of the advisory board.
Yes.
Even though when we're looking at areas, there's residential areas within those areas that we would recommend as part of the EEZ.
And you're certainly, I would say, free to make comments in regard to the issue. I mean, for example, the last advisory board passed a motion that, they would like the city council to say, an ordinance should say that there's any blight finding under the EEZ program cannot be used as a finding for eminent domain. They made that recommendation. You're welcome to do that, but ultimately the city council is the one that would pass any ordinances, so. And they certainly are aware of the issue of blight and looking at different avenues to help offset that. So let me go through this, for you new members, the book, and then for your people that already have a binder, I just gave you the inserts of what these gentlemen are receiving. The Enhanced Enterprise Zone, the advisory board members are listed in front. This is also posted on the City of Columbia's website. Mr. Witt has a term of 5 years as a representative of the Columbia Public Schools. It expires in May 21st, 2017. Pat Lensmeyer represents the other taxing districts. Her term also expires in 2017. The 2 terms that expire in 2016 are John Strockbeck and Anthony Stanton. These were the appointments from the mayor. The terms that expire in 2015 are Jeremy Root and Randy Morrow. And the term that expires in May 21st of 2014 is Louis Gatewood. Contact information on there, the mailing address, telephone number, and the email address of that you all suggested preferred email address. So anybody in the public that wants to contact you could use those addresses there.
I'll also let you all know my cell phone number. I didn't want to put it on the city's website, but it's area code 773-316-9545. That's as good a way of getting a hold of me as the number that's listed there, which is my office number. After hours or in the early morning, my cell phone is better than my office number. And feel free to use it as necessary. I just didn't need to be publishing it to the entire community.
So in that first section of your book there, you can put also is today's agenda. Any minutes you can insert in there, and any future correspondence activity of the committee. Second section is some state information, the 2-page report or a brochure of Enhanced Enterprise Zone by Department of Economic Development. And I've also put in there a contact sheet, location sheet of 119 other enhanced enterprise zones for the state of Missouri. This is an interactive page, so if you go to that website at the bottom, you can click on any one of those enhanced enterprise zones, see who the local contact is. It will tell you what their NAICS codes are, eligible businesses in there, and then on the top right corner of that page, you can click on and see a map of any of the 119 enhanced enterprise zones by census.
On your handout, where is that? Where is on the new handout? Where are we?
Oh, okay. I may not have gotten inserted in that book. I'll give you the website if you want to write it down. It's www.ded.mo.gov/EEZ and then locations with a capital L .ASPX. And let me make a note to send you that link to all of you also.
Did you say AX?
ASPX.
ES?
S is in Sam. PX. I'll send you all that link to that so you can do your own research on the size of other zones and what we allow.
Let me ask a question. Do you know how Ms. Lensmeyer was appointed to represent those other taxing districts, what the process was?
How she was appointed?
Yeah.
She was recommended by the county commission, and a letter has been sent to all the taxing districts to ask for basically the sign that they agree that she would be the representative on the board. So that is in process. If you're approved to do that, that is the fire board, the Boone County Family Service,
Family Resource.
Family Resources, change your name, the county, Hallsville School District, and
The library.
the library board, yes. So they all have actual, a letter that they need to sign and return back to those.
And would it affect the little sales tax districts, like the TDDs, where they considered other taxing districts within the contemplation of
Well,
statute.
the tax abatement is on the property tax, and so it's the property tax entities within a particular zone. So those are the primary ones.
Okay. We're just trying to understand the universe here. Thank you.
Good question. Okay, under the state, or I'm sorry, the local, just put in there is some background information, the initial memo that went to City Council back in January regarding why EEZ, why we're proposing the EEZ. I think that's just good background information as far as the whys. The next section is the NAICS codes. Basically, 3 things in there for the NAICS code discussion. They put in the list that the initial EEZ advisory board finalized. Certainly, that's completely open now for this new advisory board. There's a spreadsheet in there of probably at least a dozen other EEZs around the state and what they allow as NAICS codes. And then there's a master list of 6-digit NAICS codes, which is about 20 pages that you could use as a reference or resource. The next section is the tax credit application for business. I think it was important for you all to see if a company is going to claim benefits, both state tax credits and local abatement. This is an application that they would fill out with the state. This would be in there, and material there. So, I know, Jeremy, when we met the other day, you asked the question, does a service firm, and by the way, this is a brand new application, it's dated May 12th. We received it this week from EEZ. They're sending out new applications to all the enterprise zones and communities that are going through the process. You asked the question, does a service industry need to show at least 51% of their sales come from outside the state? Do they need to prove that every year? And the answer is yes. Year 1 and years 2 through 5. Tax credits are earned for 5 years, so they need to submit that documentation every year for 5 years. What I also included in the back behind that application is one sheet. This is actually a page out of the notice of intent. Any company that's going to get asked for benefits from an enhanced enterprise zone needs to first file a notice of intent with DED and be approved before they even submit an application for benefits. It's this sheet here that says certification of facility location. If you all found that, if you look at it, this section right here, it says, I, the representative of the government authority, do hereby certify that the facility's address is located within the zone, is an eligible enhanced business enterprise of that zone, and the named facility will receive a local incentive of 10 years at 50% abatement, or fill in the blank if it's other. So I just wanted you all to see that as you work on the actual boundaries, the eligible business list, and the abatement, that's where all that information is captured and submitted or signed by local authority. So this is after the fact, after the zone will be designated before a company can get tax credits. Questions on that? Okay, the next section in there is the Enhanced Enterprise Zone Community Application. I think you've all seen copies of that before, but I put another copy in there. You guys had that. Then there's a section on maps, and we'll talk about that in our map discussion, and then a place for some notes. Any questions on materials? Or before?
The local application, is that something that we are charged with eventually filling out and providing to council, or is that something that will happen after public hearing, or process-wise, how does that work?
It is, we're in process of working on the application. I'd be happy to share with you at the next meeting some of what we have in that application. A lot of it is specific to boundaries. I need to know the boundaries before I can say, what sites are in there, what companies are in there, what photographs or documentation to include. So a lot of what we've put together so far is the zone description, information on lost jobs, unemployment rate, poverty, some of the base information. That's, before we can complete the application, we need to have a better handle on where. So. would you like to see, bring next meeting an application or send what we can in advance?
Sure, I think that would be helpful to my understanding. I don't know if anyone else, it may be premature to have a discussion item on the application right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just trying to understand the process and if we're
Sure.
going to